Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to episode 172 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
And my name is Barbara. What's up?
What's happening, Barbara? I heard you had a hurricane this last week. How'd you fare?
I didn't even freaking get any. We got a lot of rain, and you would have thought it was a catastrophe because Florida basically shuts down. But we were super lucky. Got a little bit of rain, not a lot of wind, not a lot of damage at all. The way the media hypes it up, though, is that we're all going to die.
That's the news we got up here in Indiana. I thought you were a goner.
Oh, yeah. Course. And it's this tiny little wind, you know, in the middle of this big, huge rainstorms, but the hurricane is just so little, and the winds, you know, beside it are so little that it looks like it's so much more fierce. But hey, I'm not underscoring it because I know that that's a lot of people have been affected by them, but we haven't yet.
Sure,
thank God.
Sure.
There you have it.
Yeah, here it just goes from tropical storm to hurricane, back to tropical storm,
Yeah.
back to hurricane.
And then go Bolts, baby. Oh, yeah.
What is that, like hockey or something?
Yes, it's hockey. Oh, my
What
word.
the heck?
We won again, back to back. Woo, woo. Stayed up till 11:30. It was amazing.
I had no idea you were such a hockey fan.
I am a sports fan.
Oh, I see what it is. So you're always rooting for the winning team, right?
No, I'm always rooting for Tampa.
Oh.
And myself, of course.
And yourself.
So what's up?
Well, I just got back last week. I was 3-day tour of labs with Preet. I did all of the eastern part of Illinois and the northwestern part of Indiana.
Nice.
I think I saw about 18 different labs, drove about 550 miles. It was awesome. I had a great time going around,
Good for you.
meeting labs, going into labs, talking to them, learning about different things. It's so strange how different every lab is, but yet similar in some other aspects. It's weird, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Everyone's really nice. It's just a great community that we're in. I really, really like it.
Good for you.
So any luck finding a biker for the race for the future?
Nope. I was going to ask you because you're the keeper of the email. I was hoping that somebody would hear the episode and say, I can bike.
No, we haven't heard anybody yet, but, you know, there's still time.
Oh, well, it is what it is.
For people that need to know, the triathlon, Race for the Future, raise money for the industry. It's happening in late August, the 20th and 29th in Chicago. Barb, the runner. Sean Nowak, the swimmer. Who wants to be on this fantastic team? Who wants to bike with these elite athletes?
And it's a bike. It's like 26 miles. It's not like 3-miler because I want to do the Olympic distance. So it's not a short little bike ride.
You just lost everybody. Nobody wants to bike 26 miles.
Well, somebody might. Or somebody might know somebody that wants to do it. So yeah, shout out. Help me.
I'll do 1/26th of it. How's that? If I can find 25 other friends, we'll all do it.
No, you won't. You broke your collarbone.
Yeah.
You're out. Your wife's not going to let you bike. Are you kidding me? I know. I'm smarter than that.
But if you can't participate and help Barb out, the least you can do is go to dentallabfoundation.org and donate some money for a good cause.
Agree.
So when I first started going to meetings years ago, I noticed this really loud guy with a thick Southern accent who just also happened to be the president of the NADL. Now, I believe when I first met this guy, he was on stage wearing a dress. Yeah. Is this right? Is this who I'm thinking?
I do believe.
And I think it was Gary Yako.
Taco.
When he became president or he was leaving. I don't know. It was very early. I just remember this guy in a dress. Well, I later found out that his name was Harold Burdette, and he owned a lab in Alabama with the same name, hence the accent. Over the years, I got to know him a little better and came to appreciate his blunt honesty and knowledge of our industry. And Barb and I were super excited to welcome Harold to the podcast to talk about how the dental lab industry was back in the 70s and 80s, how he grew to be such a large, family-owned lab in a huge field of corporate labs.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about that. And how a semi-retired technician spends a day in the lab.
And on the beach.
There are some great stories told as we chatted with Harold Burdette. Whitmix introduces the CureBox Plus, a new curing unit that ensures the proper and full polymerization of 3D printed resins. It really is the ideal curing unit for dental labs and dentists because the CureBox Plus uses light and heat energy with controlled time and temperature to provide an ideal environment suitable for post-curing SLA and DLP type 3D printed models. The American-made, competitively priced curing unit is very easy to use and has a large capacity curing chamber for high production. It's super easy to clean and maintain and offers a 1-year warranty which covers everything but the inexpensive, long-lasting UV LED lamps. Though the CureBox Plus can cure virtually any printed resin, it has been qualified with the following Whitmix resins: VeriGuide OS, VeriSplint OS, Denka Denture Base, Denture Teeth, Try-In, and Temporary Crown and Bridge. If you'd like to learn more about this in-demand product, visit Whitmix.com. And as always, we appreciate your support of the podcast, Whitmix. Voices from the Bench. The Interview. We'd like to welcome to the podcast a legend in the industry, Harold Burdette. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are y'all today?
Super.
We're doing fantastic. Your accent tells me you're from the South.
A little bit Alabama, a little bit Southern.
So you have been in this industry how long? When did you start?
Well, I started when I was a child, cleaning denture flask and stuff as a kid. But I really got into it full time in 1970.
1970, wow.
Yeah, so I kind of hit the Crown and Bridge revolution. That's when all the labs really, in the late 70s, early 80s is when it kind of, the Crown and Bridge porcelain, the fused metal and all that became very popular. And labs were, it was kind of easy to grow your lab back then. That's when Barb's dad, me, Billy Drake, lots of labs that are big today. That's how it got started during that kind of revolution. It went from Pyroplast to porcelain.
Yeah, what were people doing before if the labs weren't there?
Gold crowns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then in Pyroplast, which is like a composite, an acrylic.
So how did you get introduced into labs?
Started with my dad, and we were primarily a removable lab. We had one fixed technician, my aunt, and I did dentures and partials primarily. And then my aunt retired, and my dad said, "You want to learn how to do Crown and Bridge?" So I said, "Yeah, why not?" So I was horrible. I'm just telling you. I was horrible. I've got the 3-unit bridge, Ceramco, before they were bought out by Dentsply, used to have these seminars, and Manny Palgon and Chris Kistner used to do seminars for them, and had a 3-unit bridge that was done on Jalinko O. And I thought it looked so good, and I still have it today. And I wouldn't even put it in a dog's mouth.
So I had no idea your dad started the lab. That's crazy.
Yeah. He started the lab in 1950.
Wow.
And then I came in, and then it's kind of funny. I was telling the story. Chris will be the 3rd generation. So it used to be when we go to meetings, they'd come up to my dad and start talking to my dad, and he'd go, just go talk to Junior. If he wants to get it, we'll get it. And now they come up to me at meetings, I go talk to Chris. I don't have anything to do with this anymore. So it's kind of an evolution kind of going on.
So take us through that when you first learned Crown and Bridge, and then from when you took over, and it's been a long story.
It has. It's been a long story. It's been a great journey. The dental lab business has been great to our family and to our employees. When I got introduced to Crown and Bridge, the one thing I'll say is that my dad sent me to all kinds of seminars to learn how to do it. And if you want, Barb, this, and so does Elvis. If you want to get better and you know what you're doing doesn't look right, but you will figure it out if you keep pushing yourself. And you've got somebody kind of to show you what needs to be done. And that's what I did. And I picked up an account back in that day. They did about $40,000 a month in PFM work. And they just loaded me down with work. loaded me down, which was kind of a training for me because we weren't very expensive because I wasn't very good. And, everything has a cost to it. So they did bankrupt on us for about 30 grand. But it was, like I told my dad, it was the best 30 grand we ever spent because it turned me into a decent technician, So, and it started growing from there. When I started running the Crown and Bridge department, we went from about 80% removable, 20% fixed to 70, 80% fixed to 20 or 30% removable. So what really grew, because I was pushing it. My dad never did want to get any bigger. We had like a 15-person removable lab. So, but he just never wanted to get any bigger. My dad, he'd come in at 8 o'clock and he'd leave at 5 o'clock every day.
Every day. Yeah.
Every day. That's what he wanted to do. And that was fine. I mean, I was there real early and real late and worked weekends and did all that. So, but that's what it took back then. And like I said, it was that Crown and Bridge revolution that kind of got it started. I think people have forgotten about that. It's kind of like, I think labs today, with what's going on, they want to grow like we grew back in the late 70s and early 80s. I just don't see that happening right now. It might, but I don't see it happening. It's so much parity now with this zirconia stuff. So,
yeah. Are you still in the lab?
I am when I'm home. I've been at the beach since May. I was telling Elvis I'm going back home towards the end of next week. Peggy left yesterday with my 2 younger grandchildren. I've got a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old down here with me now. They're out playing golf. The weather's kind of nasty, but they're playing golf. And the 11-year-old and the 7-year-old went home yesterday. So
you're just living it up.
Well, I was tired for the 7-year-old. There's a reason they give children to young people.
Hell yeah, I agree. So when you get home, you go to the lab and raise the hell, or what? What do you do?
When I go home, I go to the lab. And you know what was funny? I stayed down here during COVID. Peggy brought me to the beach because she knew if I stayed at home, I'd go into the lab. And we got, a lot of employees.
Yeah.
She says, you'll catch COVID there. I said, all right, let's go. So we stayed at the beach for 14 months. And I caught COVID down here.
Oh, geez.
And then I gave it to her. But then we've both had COVID and we both had our Pfizer shot. So I'm totally harmless now. So
well, I don't know about that, but
when I went to Visions, they had these stickers. What was your comfort zone?
Yeah.
My comfort zone. He says, I'll sleep with you. She said, we don't have a sleep sticker for that.
Don't tell Billy Drake you said that.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. I tell you, that was a great meeting. You know what was good about that meeting is that nobody had seen each other.
Yeah.
And there was so much talking. I mean, nobody could hear anything because everybody was just talking.
Yeah. I was sad that I missed that meeting, but it just happened like a month too early for me.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's seen each other in so long. It's just like you missed that.
I know it, Barb. It's unbelievable. You could have been president of the NADL and of Cal.
I know.
With that, but who knew about COVID?
Yep. Crazy year, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you'll have your day.
Yep. It'll come.
It will.
So I'm curious, back when you were growing that Crown and Bridge in the 70s, I imagine it wasn't as much as a price competition as it is today. Were you able to basically charge whatever you wanted?
In the most part, you could.
Yeah.
You really could.
What was competition like?
Well, Gladwell was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who Gladwell was, but we used Vita porcelain for a long time. And the people at Vern Hale, I don't know if y'all remember him. He used to run Vita North America, but he told me, he says, there's only one customer we have bigger than you. And I said, that buys more porcelain than you. And I said, really? He says, yeah, Gladwell. That's the first time I heard that name.
Really? That's hilarious.
Yeah, isn't that funny? See, that's when he started his boom.
Yeah.
That's when he really started moving. Jim just took it to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. The guy's just brilliant.
But what else was around? I mean, obviously not NDX or DSG or any of those.
I'll tell you, that's a funny story. There were some labs. There were some conglomerates.
Okay,
around.
yeah.
Think of their name. Jerry Mariacker actually worked for one of them.
American, I have heard in the past.
Yeah, maybe that. I can't remember the names of them. But this talk about all this consolidation, it was going on then.
Really?
I mean, I've heard it back then. You know, the lab's going to all get gobbled up and it's going to turn into 3 or 4 big labs. I heard this. I've heard it all my life. I don't know if it'll happen now. I mean, Barb's part of that. You know, she's probably got some good insight on that.
Lucky me.
You know, there's a lot going on. You know, DSG getting bought out by NDX.
Yep.
I think they're going to go public. That makes sense, really, to be honest with you. So they're big enough almost now to go public.
You going to buy stock in it, or was that like a conflict of interest?
I tell you, I made a huge mistake on that. I was in Vegas at Visions, and NDX went to a meeting with the people that ended up buying them. I knew what was going on. I said, I need to go buy some stock in NDX. And I didn't do it. I mean, I could have, oh Lord.
That's one thing I know about you, and this is a compliment. You always know what the hell's going on in the industry.
Because I pay attention. That's all it is. All you got to do is pay attention and listen.
That's what you taught me, man. You've come to me and talked to me about things, and I'm like, how the hell do you know that? And I remember Jeff Strong saying, Harold knows everything.
You just got to pay attention. I mean, they got to meet somewhere, and that's a good place to meet. And I said, they're fixed to sell out. And I think they actually offered Bob a ridiculous amount for the lab.
Really?
Yeah. Bob told me this. Not Bob.
Warren?
Warren told me that they came up to him and he still had a lot of debt to your dad. And they said, well, we'll take care of that for you. Just come on. What they wanted more volume, more gross. But Warren said, if he'd have known they were selling out, he says, I'd have just taken all stock,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you bought that stock. You could have been on the beach for 18 months instead of 14.
Forever.
Yeah.
For a long time. Because, I mean, I think it went up about 30 or 40, 50%. I don't remember that right now.
Wow.
It was a lot.
They must be doing good if they're buying DSG.
Yeah. DSG was hurting a little bit.
Yeah. So you are still family owned, which is another compliment. So I'm assuming you guys are good to go, right? You're going to stay solely owned, hopefully.
It's up to Chris. We get talked to all the time, and I said, look, if Chris wants to sell it, we'll sell it. And we're probably in a bad spot now to sell because we went from a C corp to we're in the process of going to an S. So you can't do anything for 5 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah. So you can't do anything for 5 years then. That's good.
That's right. You know what my grandchildren tell me, though? That once I'm gone, he says, you know what my dad's going to do, don't you? I said, what? He says, he's going to sell that lab. I said, well, I'd be disappointed if he didn't.
So what do you do when you go to the lab? Do tell. Do you go to the bench or do you just kind of talk and hang out? And
sometimes I go to the bench. They were having some trouble with digital dentures. I went in and helped them get that straightened out.
Nice.
And then if they get behind in the ceramics, I'll do that. I like trimming dies like your dad did. So,
yeah.
I'll trim some dies every now and then. But, I don't stay very long. I don't get there early. I take people to lunch, that I've raised basically. They've been there for so long. And, just talk to them, talk to Chris, and then get out of his way.
So I'll be like, Harold's coming back.
And Chris is going, oh, please, no.
So Chris is a son-in-law. He's not like a blood son.
That's right. He's son-in-law.
So how did that? Talk about
I'll tell you exactly how that happened. I'll tell you exactly. He started dating my daughter the August before she was going off to college, and he was going to Alabama, and she was going to Auburn. So Margaret, after about 6 weeks, she said she wanted to go ahead and transfer to Alabama. I said, no, we ain't chasing no boy to college.
Wow. Sounds like my dad.
So I said, but if you go through the year and you want to, finish up at Auburn this year and then you want to transfer, you're welcome to transfer to Alabama. So she did. They stayed together. Of course, rest history. They got 3 kids, been married for, good Lord, 20-something years. And so Chris, when they got married, Chris was getting a finance degree because his dad was a banker.
Oh, boring.
Yeah. And I said, Chris, one thing, this is going to happen. I said, why don't you just, since you're working part-time in a mortgage company, why don't you just come to work for me part-time and see if you like this business. So he came to work there, and I took him to a Chicago midwinter meeting. Oh, Oh, Lord.
And
That's that's when he fell in love with the dental industry.
heck yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a great meeting. So
And how did he fall in love? Give it up. What, did he just love the people or what?
he loves the people, and
Yeah.
he just loves all the people and how open everybody is. So it's tough, Barb. The lab business right now is tough, man. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
price conscious, pound you down, DSOs. Just
oh sure.
yeah. That's what worries me more than anything else is DSO.
Why do you say that?
Well, because these dentists are selling out, and you're losing private customers.
Yeah.
And then who knows if you're gonna get the business or not? Depends on who buys.
Well, your lab's big enough to handle some DSO accounts.
We
isn't
do
it?
have some DSOs.
Yeah.
We do, but that doesn't mean we're gonna keep them because those DSOs get bought out by our bigger DSOs.
Yep. And then they all end up at night.
They could end up at night. Yeah, y'all do a lot of work for the big boy. So
Yeah. I was just going to say, touche, Elvis. Yep. We do have a fair amount of them.
Yeah.
They do freaking send a lot of work, and the prices are just super low.
there you go.
Very, very disheartening, but, it is what it is. But, yeah, I watch it every day.
But you've got to gear up for that. You've got to be lean. I think you got to do some automation, work on automation to get there, like Glidewell's done, these touchless, like this Crown, what is it, Crown World or Crown, what is it he has?
I think it's Crown World. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They don't even touch those. They scan the die and the model, or if they have a model, or they send it in digitally, and it's all processed through by machines.
Yeah.
They don't even touch them.
That's insane.
Yeah, he's done a great job. So I don't know. I mean, it's just it's a different time. The lab looks totally different now. Where I had like 9 ceramists in there building porcelain, nothing now but machines and printers, and we've outgrown that now. We've got to move it to another area of the lab because it's too small.
I was going to say, you guys probably have a lot of printers, right? Do you have printers, mills, the whole 9 yards?
Yeah, we got everything.
Digital dentures. You just said you were doing that.
We got carbons. We got all kinds of printers and stuff. I think we're getting an Envision Tech in there to try out. This one, Asiga's really gotten a good name for itself.
Yeah.
That Whip Mix sells.
Yep. Yeah, they're good printers.
That does a nice job, the Asiga does.
Yeah. It's different because it's open.
Right.
Yeah. So talk about the growth. Your dad was removable. Mm-hmm. You kind of started the Crown and Bridge. Mm-hmm. You were probably by yourself for a while.
Long time.
Yeah. How quick did you start adding people?
I started adding people pretty quickly. And I got lucky in that sense that I hired a couple of guys that were technicians that I trained one was already a technician, and they didn't mind working long hours, and they really helped build the business up.
Yeah.
It was fast growth. I mean, it was like unbelievable growth. It's kind of like that back in the stock market days, back during, when, stocks just kept going up. It was kind of like that. It was just amazing. And it was easy.
Did you even have to go out and get work, or did it just come in?
Oh, you had to go out and get work.
Yeah.
You did. And I didn't have a salesperson. So what I would do is I would work on Fridays late, Saturday, all day Saturday. And then Sunday, I would take Peggy and the 2 kids and drive up to where I was going to call on customers Sunday night, spend the night, then get up and run down and make a run through wherever I was at, calling on customers all day Monday, and then drive back to Birmingham and go back to work on Tuesday. And that's basically how I built it up.
Wow. So you were your own salesperson. So you basically went out and sold yourself, your personality, your lab, your work, everything. That's pretty remarkable.
I did.
How many salespeople do you have now?
We have 3 or 4. We have 3.
Wow. Is most of your work local, or do you send out?
It's local, but we're southeast. You know what I'm saying? We're more of the southeast. We do a little bit of work in Florida, but Knight does all that down there. I had a lab tell me, I will tell you this. I had a lab in Georgia tell me, he says, "Man, Florida has so many dentists down there." I says, would be a great market to get into. I said, "Go on down there and try to get in that market, buddy." And he was a high-end lab too.
Yeah.
Good luck.
There's a lot of labs down there, too.
Yep.
I just got back from the FDLA, and it was a busy conference with a lot of labs.
That's a great meeting.
Yeah.
That's a great meeting. It really is.
You've been to that one too. I've seen you there.
Yeah, I spoke there actually when I was
Yeah.
president of NADL. That's right.
Yeah, why did you start participating in NADL? Because I remember you used to be president, I think, when I first started going to it.
Yeah.
I did. I was president. I think it got started. They asked me to do one of those things with the NBC where you go in and set up the testing for the CDT.
Oh, you're Proctal or something, or
yeah, and I'm certified in partial dentures, crown and bridge, and ceramics.
Oh, wow.
And they wanted,
You're an overachiever.
they wanted me to get one more so I could be a man. I said, man, I'm 71 years old. This doesn't matter to me. If I was younger, I'd do it, but anyway.
What are you going to get a raise?
I went there and I worked on that. And then the next thing I know, I was on a conference call with NBC and they said, oh yeah, we're nominating Harold Burdette to be on the NBC trial. So I got onto that and then it kind of moved up from there.
Yeah.
So you did the NBC board as well, and then you moved over to NADL?
I did.
Wow.
That's exactly what I did. Exactly. And then I served on the CAL board, of course. You know that.
Oh, yeah. For many, many years.
Many years. And I stepped off that to put, got Roe on there. What's his name?
BJ.
BJ.
He wanted to be on it. And I said, I'll get off. Because they need young people on there.
Yeah.
He's smart,
Yep.
and it'll be good for Cal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agree.
Billy and I are just over the hill. We need to move on.
You need to go to the beach and invite me. I want to go to the beach.
You live on the beach.
Yeah, I know, but there's a diff. Where's your house at, by the way?
Perdido Key.
Okay, so yeah, you're
which
right
is
on
a
the
fancy word. You know what a key is? It's this
yeah.
fancy word surrounded by water. It's actually Pensacola, but it's not Pensacola Beach. So don't confuse us with that because we're not Pensacola Beach.
Yeah, so we've been to St. George Island every year for 20 years, so I know exactly that area, and I love it.
Yeah, it's nice down here. White sand,
Awesome.
beautiful water.
Mm.
So
Are you jealous, Elvis?
I think Elvis left to go take care of the dog.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Usually he texts me about this.
No, I apologize. I'm letting the dogs out. I muted.
I told you.
Harold, that's awesome.
I told him he's taking care of the dog.
It's one of the challenges of working from home.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. They're quiet all day, then they hear me talking, and then all of a sudden they want to go out. So
They want to talk.
Exactly.
I try to mute them when they're barking, but I apologize.
That's all right. It's kind of fun. I thought they were Harold's dogs.
No, I don't have a dog. I want one bad. My wife won't let me have one.
What?
Aw.
Everybody needs a dog or
No
three.
kidding. I love dogs. So
I wanted to know, has Burdette Dental Lab always been in the same location, or have you grown over the years?
we started out. My dad started the lab in North Birmingham, and it was a upstairs office place, and
Yeah.
he just didn't do anything but dentures.
Yeah.
There, and then we went from there. We moved to 5 Points West, and we had a building there, and that's kind of where I started the Crown and Bridge. My aunt was there. I was in the lab then, and then
Uh-huh.
my aunt, that's where I kind of started building it up. And then we had a fire there. Actually,
Oh,
it was
wow.
it was a weird building. It was a big open space in the front. Then we had the center area where there was a boil out room, and then the back room was as big as the front, but didn't have anything in it. It was just still open. When we got burned out the front, we moved everything. We built benches. This is funny. We had a fire on Thursday night, and on Monday morning, we were back open for business. Dad had an electrician friend that jumped electrical, and we built benches, and we did stuff you probably couldn't do today.
All over a weekend?
All over a weekend.
Wow.
All the employees and everything. So it was a great effort team effort by everybody. When we grew out of that place, I built a building in Fairfield. I bought a building there, existing building in Fairfield from a dentist, and put the lab there. And then we added on another 5,000 square feet to that building, and we grew out of it. And then we built the building we're in now, which is 12,000 square feet.
Wow.
Wow, amazing. So how,
You going to grow out of that one?
Well, I never thought we would, with all the stuff that's gotten it's so digital.
Yeah.
But equipment takes up room too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's just changing. It's people versus equipment. We still have to have people. You always have to have people.
Oh, sure.
And good people, which that's hard to find now.
I know.
They got
It is.
nobody wants to work.
Yeah, I put that on my Facebook. Why don't we give the $300 to the people that are working and see how fast the people that aren't working get the asses back to work?
That is a great. I never didn't see that on your face. Oh, Lord, that is so good.
Yeah, give it to me.
It's supposed to stop. It's supposed to end.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Alabama said that they would take the money, but they're not passing it along. They're through subsidizing unemployment because everybody in Birmingham is looking for people.
Oh, yeah.
Restaurants, bars,
everywhere.
Everybody, and even down here, they'll have a restaurant that's half full, but they have people standing outside, and they say, "We can't seat you because we can't serve you."
Yeah, we've run into that a few times here.
It's horrible. All the labs are busy, but nobody has any help. So what you're doing is you're killing your managers.
Yes, agree.
And I just had all my managers down here for a big fishing trip for the weekend.
Aww.
And I said, man, they had a great time. But I said, y'all needed it. We're just killing them.
Yep, agree. So what did COVID do to your business? How did you guys respond to that? I know it's been a year or so, but did you close down completely, or did you have a smaller,
No,
team there?
We kept all our managers. We laid everybody off that could make as much or more on unemployment as they were making.
Yeah.
We kept everybody that couldn't do that on payroll. Of course, April, was it March? April? Yeah, April was horrible. I think that's the month, right? It hit in what?
March, but a lot of people started closing down in April.
Yeah,
late March, early April.
April, we were like 20% of sales.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I said, Chris, I'm only going to go so far in my pocket. But then it started coming back. It came back pretty fast, really.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
May it came back. I mean, that was scary. I'd never seen anything like it. Then May came back, June. I mean, it's been good. Business has been good.
Yeah. I think everybody's seeing that. I don't even know if it's pent up from the COVID anymore, or I don't know. It's just busy everywhere.
It's busy everywhere. But everybody I've talked to has been busy.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have a week that you might not get as much in, but overall, it's just slammed.
Yeah.
I hadn't talked to a lab that's not busy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's why when Elvis texted me, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Oh shit, I got all." And I've got veneer cases and just.
Are you still at the bench?
Oh yeah, big time.
Are you still doing that? What do you call it? The ACCD? What is it?
Yeah, so I'm doing the high aesthetic cases, veneer cases, full mouth. So we are just growing.
How do you do that and run the lab?
There's other people that run the lab now, so I get to focus on my cases, and I love it.
That's better.
It's great.
It is great.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm way too young to be in my office sitting there, so I'm really happy. But yeah, it's busy. I can attest to that.
It is.
And people are buying these just huge, treatment plans and upper and lowers and implants and veneers. And
You're doing a lot of all-in-4s?
No, actually we don't. Believe it or not, because we've talked to a lot of people on our podcast that are just going crazy with them, but that's definitely not what we specialize in. I think we're just too big to do those cases.
Well, you got to have somebody that knows what they're doing
Yeah.
conversions and fooling with them, and
Harold, are you not chairside doing conversions?
No. We got 2 people doing chairside.
Yeah,
so, but it's just. I don't know if you make money on them or not. I hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah, by the time you have your top people out of the lab to go to the doctor's office to, you pay them all that money to work with the doctor. And by the time everything's said and done, that's a fair amount of revenue going out the door.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's great for looks on your gross, but you got expensive people doing them, and the work, it's really unbelievable how it's done. I mean, I've been to some conversions and some seatings, and you really do change people's lives.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So Larry does a bunch of those, doesn't he?
Larry, yeah, that's all he does, really. I mean, that's a majority of what he does. I noticed on the website you guys talk about being part of the Terric group.
Right.
What is that? What exactly is the Terric?
It's a group of I tell you, it's one of the best things we ever did. I mean, it's a great group. We share information. They're very territorial.
Okay.
It's really funny. It's a funny story. I hope y'all put this in the broadcast because I want Jeff to hear this. Jeff Paulin. Years ago, somebody came up to me in Chicago and says, "You ought to get in Enteric." I said, "Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'd love to. What kind of group is it? What do you do?" Blah blah blah. I said, "That's good." So Jeff Paulin was over in Atlanta. He called me and started interviewing me, and I said, "Yeah, okay. Do you do any work in Atlanta?" I said, "No, not really." He said, "Do you plan on it?" I said, "I don't know, Jeff. I mean, don't do any now." So anyway, he blackballed me. All it takes is one person to blackball me. So we're at the IDS a few years back. And I had his girls there, Jessica and all of them were there, and Jeff. And we were at dinner. And Jeff looked at me and says, "Harold, you ought to get in Enteric." I said, "You are kidding me, right?" I said, "You do remember you're the one that blackballed me." He said, "Yeah, but I didn't know you then." I went, "Oh my God."
That's great.
So we got in, and it's been great. We share numbers, we share marketing ideas. If we have a problem, we can call these labs; they'll help us out with it because there's some big ones in there.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonds, I mean, there's some big boys in there. One out of New York, can't think of the name of it right now, but I will. But so there's some big boys. So we got in, and we hadn't looked back. So I think there's 12 of us, 12 labs, 12 or 13 labs in it.
And they're all independently owned, correct?
All of you cannot be.
Yes.
We've lost a couple of them
Yep.
to being bought out that were owned for like Perry and Young in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
They got bought by, I think, NDX. So they had to leave the group.
Yeah. I think that's what's special about it is that probably conversation comes up a lot. And you guys just keep each other strong and you don't want to sell. And,
Right.
I really think that's, I love it. Tip my hat to that.
Right.
It's just a group of labs that communicate and share ideas.
Right.
And
I'm going to tell you too, Elvis, this group, I was in DRA, and the DRA is a great group also. It's just a different philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
You'd come in on one day, you'd have a dinner meeting that night, then you'd meet all day the next day, and then a half a day the next day. The Enteric group comes in on a Wednesday. You meet all day Thursday, you meet all day Friday, and then you meet Saturday.
Wow.
I mean, you have some meetings, and we have some vendors there that do presentations, but it's the real deal. And they don't want to get rushed. They want time to talk and, communicate. So, you can talk about anything there. And it's not supposed to go any further than the Enteric group.
Yeah, you don't spread what you've heard.
You sign non-disclosure, so
you guys probably pick up a lot from each other, like what each other's doing.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
what you should be looking at, what kind of equipment, what kind of printers, what goes
That's
good,
right.
what goes bad.
Right.
R&D.
And it's diverse. We got, Reed Nunley at Derby, he's opened up that, what do you call the
Clear liners.
The clear liners.
Yeah.
He's booming.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing a ton of them, and he's doing the lab too. So, but that's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you. He's a bright young man.
Enteric, did it meet this year or last year?
We just met we've been doing Zoom meetings.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've had our first meeting in Georgia at a resort there in Georgia. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the airport in Atlanta. And it was beautiful. We had a great time there.
Yeah.
Up in the mountains. They had a golf course. We just had a good time.
It sounds like an expanded version of the closed forums during CalLab.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
For 3 whole damn days.
3 days. 3 days.
Nice.
Bennett and them run it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's
Kidding
who,
me.
yeah.
Interesting. That guy's got his hands in everything.
He does. Another bright guy in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
So I notice your actual son is a technician.
Right. He's actually a salesperson now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for us.
Yeah.
Never met your son, or have I?
Yeah, you have in Chicago.
Okay.
You have. He's actually Harold Burdette III. He goes by Ansley.
Yeah.
Become a technician?
He's a technician.
Oh, he is.
He
And
is
a
a tech-
person. Okay.
Yeah, he is a technician.
I got to experience NADL University with him. He was in our group.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
I warned him about Gary.
Nobody warned me about Gary.
I said, don't get garried.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you mean by that? I said, let me tell you, you'll know when it happens.
Oh, God. Elvis got Gary.
I got Gary.
I've done it twice.
I got
and I
Gary
told him, you're
hard.
not doing that to me again. I mean, that's how stupid I was.
I've got some crazy pictures when Gary took me out. Oh, Jesus. I had my clothes on the whole time.
Well, we can cut this part. Remember that NADL meeting we were at? I think you got Mickeyed.
Oh,
Remember that?
Oh, that was horrible.
You couldn't even walk.
That was the worst that's ever happened to me, and I was sick.
We can cut this part out, Elvis.
Okay.
I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days.
Oh my
I mean, she missed the whole meeting. It was horrible. I think somebody Mickeyed her.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I don't even remember. Like, it was terrible.
We were having to carry her back to the damn hotel. It was horrible.
Ugh. Yep.
Wow.
There's been some good times, though, NAD. I kind of miss the NADL.
I bet you do.
You still go to the meetings, which is always
Oh,
nice.
yeah. We know we got Lab of the Year.
Oh, did you?
Congratulations.
We did.
Nice.
It was a great honor. I couldn't believe it. So
Good for you.
Chris and I accepted it at the Visions meeting.
Well deserved, of course.
Yeah. It was a good day for us.
Yeah.
So how the heck did you learn digital dentures? I just got it. That question's in my brain.
You know, Barb, I'm an old school technician, but I love technology. I mean, I just love it. And when I don't know if you remember these Vita porcelain furnaces when they came out, where you had to just push the button and it would go up and hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I got rid of all the nays and bought. I love automation. I just loved it, and I'm very intrigued with designs and how to do that and manipulate it and stuff. And I'm horrible with computers, but I just like it.
That's why I was asking, because that's pretty astounding. I mean, and I don't mean this negative, but given, age-wise, for
I'm
you,
an old guy. I am. I mean, I understand
do that.
Yeah,
that's super awesome.
Yeah.
My dad was like, "No, not happening. I don't want to deal with that. Just let me trim dies." But you're
what does your dad say about what all has happened?
Oh, we don't really talk about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
we don't talk about the lab anymore. It's been a couple years. That's a dead subject in my household.
Well, that's probably good for you. You probably have enough of it at work.
Exactly. I'm
going to tell you, when I was working at the lab and working at the bench, and Peggy came to work, my wife came to work for us. Golly, every time I'd come home, that's all she wanted to talk about, the lab, the lab, the lab, the lab, the lab, the lab, the lab. I said, whoa. I said, after about a month of it, I said, look, we got to stop here.
You're fired.
You're either going to have to stop talking about the lab or I'm going to fire you. And I said, because I get enough of that at the lab. I just want to sit down and watch TV and nobody talk to me.
So did she stop talking or did you fire her?
Yeah, she did. Well, not really, but I couldn't fire her either.
Yeah.
So, I'm one of those old guys, and you know this, Barb, you did it too. You have the phone in one ear and you're doing porcelain with the hands, you got the shoulders. I had one doctor tell me one time, I can't understand you. You're grinding your own porcelain. You need to go someplace quiet. I said, let me tell you, you want your case back on time or not? He said, yeah, I want it back on time. I said, we're going to talk right here then.
Yeah, exactly. Good man right there. Double dipping, double multitasking.
That's it.
There's no other way if you're a ceramist.
I don't know if there's any of us left, though, that can do that. This new generation. I mean, they're good. There's some of them that are very, very good. They've got a different attitude about life.
Yeah.
Especially these young ones. They get stressed out. They just get up and walk out.
I've had that a couple times this year. I get stressed out and I just work harder and faster. I just want to be focused.
They just get up and walk.
Yeah.
I can't take this anymore. I'm stressed out. I'm going, what? No, you're scanning dies. I mean, what?
Yeah.
How do you get stressed out on that?
How much were you involved when your lab got into digital? Were you there choosing the 3Shape and the scanners, and were you part of the process for carbon?
I was.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what Chris does. Chris runs the lab. I mean, there's no question.
Yeah.
But when he has to purchase something like a carbon or software,
Yeah.
new software program. He always calls me and talks to me. And we were getting into digital dentures we went with carbon to start with before digital dentures.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but I was still involved in the lab then, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was involved in that. I like everything about digital. I mean, it just the milling and the printing and now I hate doing PFMs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because they don't fit into the process.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nightmare to do a PFM.
Do you still do a lot of them?
We do about 30 a day.
That's a lot.
I wish we didn't do.
That's a lot.
I wish we sent them all off somewhere, to just get them done. I know labs that have done that. They just don't fit our
No, at all.
Do y'all still do PFMs, don't you, Barb?
Hell no.
You send them out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Summer, we still did a bunch of them, but Oregon got the copings.
Well, we did that too, but it was, and I love Oregon.
Yeah.
But it killed us on turnaround time.
Yeah, you got to add that a day.
Yeah, and see, the doctors didn't want to add that dang day.
Yeah.
And so when it came back, they were all running around, got to get it open, got to get it finished, got to get it open, got to get it built, got to get it ground in. And it was just stressing them out. I said, heck with it. We're just going to do it in-house.
So you still cast?
Yeah.
Wow. Don't hear that too often. Yeah.
Man, no kid, man.
That is where you could jump in and build a porcelain unit. You could sit there and build all day if you wanted to. That's a lot of units.
30 units a day is a lot of units. I think for nowadays it is. Billy Drake still does a ton of them. I don't know where he's getting, and he gets high gold.
Wow.
I believe it.
I don't know if I believe it. He can kind of boost up stuff a little bit.
I don't know if I believe it.
I told him, I said, I don't believe it till I see it. That's what
they've been friends for probably 40 some odd years or more. So
we had one spat now. You don't remember it. You remember Dave Kaza working for
yeah. I remember that.
Billy had a salesperson working for him. He's passed away. And it was working up in South Carolina. And Billy and I both do a lot of, we've done a lot of work up in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So Bob was the salesman's guy. And he kept coming to me at meetings, says, Harold, I'm quitting Drake. Either you hire me or I'm going to go to work for another lab. I said, I ain't hiring you. So he one day he came up, he said, I'm quitting. You either hire me or not. I said, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Bob. I said, you go tell Billy that you want to quit. I want you to go in and tell him you're going to quit, that you want to quit, and let's see what Billy says, and tell him that you're going to come to work for me, and you're going to give him all this notice and stuff. Okay. He goes in and throws the keys to his car at Billy and says, I quit, and I'm going to work for Burdette, and I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going, oh, my God. So Billy wouldn't speak to me at meetings and stuff. And then finally, Dave Kaza from Jelinko back in the day took us into a room in a suite, and we sat there. And when I told Billy the story, then he understood. And Bob brought down every account Billy had in a big printout.
Oh, geez. You can't do that.
I said, I'm not looking at it. Burn it. Destroy it. I don't want to see it. I said, he's my buddy. We're going to do this just normal.
Yeah.
And now we're best of friends.
Yeah.
I've been for years and years and
years. And Peggy and Beth are good buddies.
I know. And then you guys always go gambling to Vegas and
go Europe together and
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Are you going to the Fun and Sun meeting in Louisiana this year?
I might. Month? Yep.
Good.
I might. Are y'all going?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I hope I get to see you.
I hope to go.
Yeah.
When is that? In July, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
July. I love your accent.
Yeah. You got one too.
I know. A little bit.
You got a Tampa accent.
I've never thought of that, but I guess maybe I do. Don't I, Elvis?
Yeah, you do. Y'all got some accents.
Yeah, you two are great together, though, man.
Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship. Trust me.
Oh, I know.
Over 3 years that we've been doing this, and we just love it. We love talking to people like you.
It's been unbelievable how successful it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so well known.
Well, hell, if you've heard about it, that's pretty sweet. Just kidding. You know,
I've actually looked at episodes. Oh, goodness. I mean, y'all do a great job. I'll tell you, Anton was a good one. I mean, that guy's.
He's fun.
You're talking about somebody that transformed a company.
Oh, hell yeah.
All PFMs into what he's done. Oh, my goodness.
If he didn't do what he did, you might be his only customer, buying ingots.
Oh, goodness.
So I think it speaks volumes, your relationship with Billy, because here's two labs that are, obviously competitors in an area of the country, but yet you're friends, your families travel together. I think it's cool.
Elvis, I always heard this. There's enough business out there for everybody. If we talk about this in Terry, they're very territorial.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is these are big labs that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to be 5 million or above to even get into Terry. So, and we've talked about this at the meetings. You're starting to get some overlap, from in other states that, and it might not even be anything that you advertised. Somebody might have heard about you and wanted to send work to you.
Sure.
So, and I've told him this, it's all about integrity. If you've got integrity, then you don't have to worry about it. Now, if you got somebody in there that's willing to put it in your back and put you down, I said, that's a different story. But I said, if I were to call on, I said, Jeff Pollen does a lot of work in South Carolina too.
Yeah.
We never run across them. And I've told our salespeople, if you run across Jeff Pollen, tell them you're using a great lab, we're out of here.
Yep.
So I don't know what they're going to do, but they're having some trouble. It's not with us. Somebody, I don't know who it was, but something's happened. I heard word of it at the last territory meeting. So we have 2 labs in Iowa.
Yeah. Iowa.
And I mean, and they don't have any conflicts at all.
There's 2 labs in Iowa?
Hey, they're huge.
Really?
Huge.
It's funny how you don't even think about that or know about that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great business. God, it's such
And you're still so stoked about it, which is so neat.
I love the people, Barb.
I know. Same here. We say it all the time.
I stood up at Visions and because I was down here, I told y'all for 14 months, for trying to stay away from COVID. And I said, it's interesting. We win Lab of the year that I wasn't in the lab. The room busted out loud. I thought BJ was going to pee in his pants. I said, maybe there's something to this,
That is hilarious.
Oh, goodness gracious. So
that's great. What's your plans from now? I mean, you're still going to show up to the lab and do your thing and just piddle around, I guess you should say.
Yep, piddle around.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do. Spend time with my grandkids, travel. I'm ready to go traveling again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've usually been to Europe twice by now, and I hadn't even gotten on an airplane. I hadn't been on an airplane.
Yeah.
Did you get your shot?
I had COVID and had Pfizer shots.
Yeah, then you.
I'm harmless.
Yep.
Indestructible, as I like to call it.
How many people have you got at the lab that have been vaccinated, Barb?
Actually, I don't even know. Maybe half.
I'm going to tell you, Florida was great to get vaccinated. That's where I got vaccinated, in Florida.
Really?
It was so easy. I mean, the governor did a great job with the vaccination.
I agree with you.
I like him.
Yeah, so, I do too.
There's people that don't, but I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can't get into politics.
Good call. Good call.
Good call.
Yeah. What about your lab? Is most of the people get vaccinated?
I'd say we're probably 20%.
Really? Interesting.
But the problem is, Elvis, our lab is young. I mean, it's amazing how young it is. People come in there and go, oh my God, but they don't even get flu shots.
Yeah, they're not afraid of it. Yep.
So they go, if I don't get why should I get one? I don't even get a flu shot.
That's what I say.
So, I don't know what's going to happen. I tell you though, I believe you're not going to be able to travel without a vaccination card.
Yeah.
It'll probably happen.
At least overseas, yeah.
I think it's getting there.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Harold. We love talking to you, man. That's some good stuff.
Absolutely.
I love talking to y'all.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you're up to 3rd generation and possibly 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And Lab of the Year, congratulations.
Yeah.
Kudos to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Well.
Way to win it the year you don't do anything with it. That's nice. Mm-hmm.
That's why we won it, Elvis. I wasn't there. I couldn't mess it up because I wasn't there.
Maybe we should have had Chris on instead of you.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, you should have. I mean,
well, Harold, we appreciate it.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Same to you.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Harold, for coming on our podcast and telling us all about the days long gone and the beaches and how you drive Chris crazy. It's super amazing how one man can stay on top of everything going on in and around the industry and still run a successful lab. Well, we would like to personally thank you for all the time you dedicated to the NBC, NADL, and of course the Cal Lab Board. And if you ever do finally and officially retire, know that you have left the industry in a better place for being a part of it. Oh, that's so sweet. And we hope that Chris keeps Burdette Dental Lab family-owned for many, many years to come.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for you. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Good job. Good job.
Awesome.
Oh, you're recording this.